next song, it always reminds me of sort of the trans experience. And, well, you'll recognize it when you hear it, I'm sure.
We get to the birds,
It's not easy being green. I like to spend each day the color of the leaves, when it might be nicer being gray, yellow, or gold, something much more colorful than that. It's not that easy being green. You blended with so many fairy things. People tend to pass you by, 'cause you're not standing out like sparkles in the water or stars in the sky. But green is the color of spring, and green can be warm and frizzy like. Green can be tall as a mountain, important like a river, oh, tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it can make you wonder why. But why wonder why I'm green, and it'll do fine. And I think that's what I want to be. So this next song, I'll get to this. The next song is, it also is kind of has a trans element in it to me, but it's the rainbow connection. But it's, I think the connection that the song is talking about is sort of with yourself. calls the young sailors, the voice making one and the same. But I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I ain't supposed to be. But someday the rainbow connection for lovers and dreamers like me. La da di da 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 da. La da di da 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 da.
All right, you better connect.
So, where's my water? Well, you know, I go through life, I said to myself when I was years ago, decades ago really, I said, I'm just going to be kind to everyone I meet. And that's sort of been my motto. You know, I said it out loud, and now I'm living it. But sometimes, we're doing the front, or we're just starting at that one view. From the top. I've posed for pictures with ivory soap. I've petted stray dogs and shied clear dope. My smile is brilliant and my glance is tender. But I've noted most is my unspoiled gender. I've been named Miss Budweiser, though I never touch beer. And I'm the person to whom they say, you're sweet, my dear. The only etchings I've seen have been behind glass. And the closest I've been to a bar was at ballet class. Prim. And proper. A girl who's never been kissed. Well, I'm tired of being pure and not chaste. Like something that seeks its level. I wanna be a devil. I wanna be evil. I wanna spit taps. I wanna be evil and cheat at jacks. I wanna be nasty. I wanna be cruel. I wanna be daring. I wanna shoot pool. I wanna wake up in the morning with that dark brown taste. I wanna see a little dislocation in my face. I wanna be evil and trump an ace just to see my partner's face. I wanna be nasty. I wanna be cruel. I wanna be daring. I wanna shoot movie. And in the theater, excuse me, I want to change my fate just so I can step up everybody. I wanna be evil. I wanna hurt flies. I wanna sing songs like the guy who cried. horrid. I wanna drink booze, and whatever I've got, I'm eager to lose. I wanna be evil, good evil me, just as mean and evil as I can be. Oh, she's evil. So, this next one is just kind of fun to sing, but it kind of reminds me of Black trans women who, more often than not, usually get what they want. Whatever Lord wants, Lord gets, and little man, little Lola wants you. Make up your mind to have no regrets. Recline yourself. Resign yourself, you're through. I always get what I aim for, and your heart and soul is what I came for. Whatever Lord wants, Lord cares. Take off your coat. Don't you know you can't win? There's no exception to the rule. I'm irresistible, you fool. Give in. Give in. Give in. Thank you so much. It's so lovely and so inspiring, so encouraging. So as trans people, therapy is part of our story and our journey. Excuse me, often. And I wanted to tell you about my kind of first therapy experience. I was 13, and my therapist, she was a psychiatrist. And as a matter of fact, she was the first or the third Black woman that had graduated from Harvard Medical School in psychiatry.
Wow.
And she was my mother's sorority sister. So, my mother was totally into this. And so my parents owned a small chain of beauty supply stores. And so I had to carry a box of wigs and hair conditioning so I had to pay for my therapy. I always felt cheated. But as an adult, I see it's really practical. But as a child, I was like, but anyway, she was crazy. I tried to tell my mother that she was crazy, but my mother didn't believe me because she thought I was trying to get out of it. And I'm like, no, she's seriously crazy. And so she would say, we'd be having the sessions, and then she'd be rocking back and forth, saying, have you seen my husband? But funny part is, 10 years later, I did run into her husband who did hit on me. So I was forced to, I was forced to do the therapy. That was my first experience with therapy, and it wasn't very pleasant or positive, you know. So, this is how I feel after that. My nose told me that I was right out of my head, the way he described it. He said every better day than life. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no. My nose told me that I was right out of my head. She said I need treatment, but I'm not that easily led. She said I was the type that was most inclined, went out of her face to be out of my mind. And she thought I was nuts. No words to answer, but they say as a child I appeared a little bit wild with all my crazy ideas. But I knew what was happening. I knew I was a genius. What's so strange when you know that you're a wizard at 3? I knew that this was meant to be. Well, I heard little children were supposed to stick tight. That's why I drank up in the vodka one night. My parents got panicked, didn't know what to do. But I saw some crazy things before I came through. Now, do you think I was crazy? I may have been only 3, but I was swinging the picture bell. And I said I'm also Einstein, so why should I be sorry if they just couldn't understand the idiomatic logic that went on in my head? I had a brain, it was insane. All they used to laugh at me. I refused to ride on those double-decker buses because no one could drive her on the top. Drive her on the top. That chick is twisted. Yeah. I've got 2.
Andrea, is this the first time in a long time it was like any break?
Thank you. Long time, yeah, you're right. So this is another song about yes. Thank you. This is a cute little song. The next one is also about insanity, I guess, or you know what they call us. You know, when I was a teenager, my mother, I just said my parents had a small chain of beauty supplies stores, which they did. But my mother was also a doctor. She was a therapist, and so she wasn't practicing because she was too evil. But she did have access to the county mental homes and things like that. And she would take me there at 3 in the morning when I was 13, 14, and lock me in with the crazy people. And be like, Mama, those, completely insane. And my mother would just wait, I'll be there all night. Yeah, because that made me change, right?
What the fuck?
And I did have, she did manage to, I'm telling my age, but she did manage to I had one electric shock treatment. And that was even too much for my mother. She was like, you don't have to do that anymore. But it's a wonder that I'm not more insane, considering, I don't have a screw loose. That's what they say I've got. Or maybe they say I'm not playing with a full deck. But hey, what the heck can I do? 'Cause baby, I got a screw loose for you. Bonkers. That's what they're calling me. Not metaphorically, they mean truly insane. But they can't hear the voices in my brain giving orders to keep loving you. Eccentric, erratic, toys in the belfry, bags in the attic. But I just don't see the harm of carving your name in my arm. Darling, baby, I got a screw loose for you. Darling, it's so hard to be 60 and schizo. But I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind, which I've lost, and I'm paying the cost. Screw loose, clinically certified. A panel of doctors tried to lock me away until the day that they finally do. Baby, I'm here if you need a loose screw. And now for the sponsors of this show, Trans History. Slideshow. But
Come on here.
no.
Keep on.
Okay.
He's coming. He's around the corner.
Sideshow's right there.
Yeah.
Do I have to? You have it? I have it on my computer.
Give another song.
No. I've only got 2 left. So we're gonna do this part now. Yeah, I'll tell some stories. I was gonna tell some stories. But half the people I was gonna talk about are here. So I gotta go really bad. But the last time I had a singing gig, it was 9 years ago, and my friend Martin, who's sitting over there, he was there. Chinatown, yeah. It was a cute little speakeasy kind of place in Chinatown. It was really cute, right? Martin and I have been friends for at least 40 years, if not longer. But do you know how we really met? Do you know that story? I don't think you do. You do? With Alonzo? Oh. My friend that's famous? Yeah. He's not here. So I was at this fair with a friend and we saw Martin. And my friend said to me, "Isn't he cute?" And I was like, he's really cute. And so he said, "The girl, look at him, isn't he really cute?" I was like, "Yeah, he looks like trouble to me though." And he said, "Listen, Miss Andrea, wouldn't you like to see his face between your legs?" And I thought, yes. Did you know that? So that's what's happening. Oh, I just want to say that this is an incredible evening, and it's really very special. And this is something that we should really cherish, because we're lucky and we're blessed to be able to have an event like this. Because I always say, when I was growing up, you know, I spent my teenage years running from the police in 5-inch heels. You know, and so I always knew that there'd be a black president one day. And I even knew there'd be a woman president one day, but I never thought it'd be like a venue where trans people were getting help and loved up. It's just incredible. I know I say this, but I'm still waiting for the police to come in the door.
Wow.
With this many people in here. So, you know, I was thinking about like how lucky we are as out trans people to be able to get jobs and stuff like this. I remember I had a job in the 80s in San Francisco, office building downtown, and I think I was a 10 anyway. But anyway, so someone told my boss, my T, that I was trans, right? And when I came back from lunch, the police and the building security and the managers were all standing by my desk. And they escorted me out, and I didn't say a word. What was there to say? I knew what was up. Now, would that happen today? No. But it did happen here in San Francisco, 40 years ago. And, San Francisco is Disneyland for gay white men. But for the rest of us, it's just Miracle with 3 Ks. But don't let me get too distracted. Yeah.
I see in the history pictures, they don't highlight the clubs we used to go to back then.
We're working on that.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
Okay, because that's an intricate and part of the culture. And
But we only had clubs.
We're working on that the road runner. We got you.
Black Road,
We got you. We're working on it.
Peter Pan,
Yes.
Bungalow.
I just asked you for a minute. I'm working on it. I can get a minute, girl. Can I get 2 years?
Yes.
This ain't even 1 yet. I'm working on it.
I'm to the riot party.
That was 84, that night.
No, it's not.
In terms of.
In terms of world history, it certainly is not.
Get it done, y'all. You know, it's Mercury retrograde, everybody's groovy. We got some good pictures to look at. There we go. Okay.
No, we're from our sponsors. Because this is Trans History Month.
Yes.
Who would have thunk it?
Jupiter.
Yeah, that it's kind of scary, but wonderful at the same time. And I came out just right at the right time, didn't I? And so I was running from being stealth. So I'm just going to talk about some of these people you've seen before, but I just added a couple just to share with you guys. So look at the next slide. You guys know Mother George on the left there, and Mrs. Nash. Mother George, for those of you who don't know Mother George, she was a midwife, a transgender woman that was a midwife in Utah in the 1860s and 70s, and she delivered 1,000 babies. Wow. Half of them were Mormon. And her family and a group of other African American pioneers was part of some of the people that founded the state of Idaho. Okay. But we founded the state of Idaho, but we don't get that. No, we don't. When she died, though, they erased her from history because she lived stealth. She could sit on her hair, and she was a pioneer woman. And she would take her board and go deliver babies. And that's kind of what my research has revealed about all these trans. I mean, I have been focusing mostly on Black trans women. I'll get to everybody else, but Black trans women, their stories never get told. Or, they just get left. They just get left out of the whole storytelling. For example, Sir Lady Java.
Yes, Java.
Was an incredible Black trans woman in LA. She was around the 50s and the 60s, and she used to get arrested for female impersonation so many times that it was affecting her livelihood, and so she sued the state of California and the city of Los Angeles to make drag laws, to make drag legal. To make it not a crime. That is so incredibly important. Because in the old days, the police could come in here and take us out of there. But now that law's changed because of people like Sir Lady Java, who fought in the courts for years. And when they finally did win the case and the law was taken off the books that drag was illegal, they put a white trans woman's picture in the paper. But, like I just said 5 minutes ago, this is a miracle. It's still a miracle. So they didn't mean to leave her out, but it just always kind of happens that way. Oh, we didn't mean to leave you out. Yeah, a miracle is the case. And this is Mrs. Nash. And I've talked about her before. Some of you have seen her before. But I think she's just a fascinating person. She was famous for her tamales. And she was a laundress paid by the federal government. And she was a laundress to General George Custer. And she followed him around for years, doing his laundry, his two brothers, and his family. And I think she's probably having him, but you know the girls and you know men. And so, so Mrs. Nash, she had 3 husbands, and 2 of her husbands, she was a moneymaker, and 2 of her husbands ran off with their money. But her last husband, Mr. Nash, he was really, really good to her, and he really loved her. And they were out at Fort something in Dakota, where Custer was out there in Indian Territory. They were out there, and Mrs. Nash got appendicitis, and she died. She told the people in the fort, "If I die, just bury me right away. Don't be washing me. Don't change me. Don't do anything." And they didn't. They washed. They got the tea, and then. So her husband, who didn't know that everyone did the tea, when he came back from doing exercises, Army people do exercises and stuff, and all the other people in the base were clowning him, like saying, "Oh, did you and Mrs. Nash ever plan on having children?" And stuff like that, and they terrorized him and teased him, and 3 days later he committed suicide. Yeah, which is a kind of sad story, but and Frances Thompson, I think this is a picture of Frances Thompson. Do you guys know Frances Thompson? Frances Thompson was a laundress. She had her own business. She hired people. She had been born a slave, and she had her own business. And in 1866, 1 year after the end of the Civil War, this is Memphis, Tennessee, the black side of Memphis was thriving. They had in 1 year, they had built 9 schools. They had a post office, a sheriff. They were minding their own business. But the neighboring poor white people got jealous. God, that story's been repeated so much in this country. They got jealous, and they came and set the black Memphis on fire. And during the 3-day riot, but it was the riot, 7 white men came into her house. 2 of them were policemen. And they raped her and her girlfriend for 3 days and made them cook for them. And at the end of the 3 days, when the riots were over, they took everything in her apartment, her house, dishes, sheets, everything, and left them with nothing. So, it was Reconstruction, and it's the only time that America has ever pretended like it gave a fuck about black people. That little 12-year period there. So this was Reconstruction. And so Frances Thompson testified about her rape before Congress. That's why we know who she is. It's part of the congressional record. However, about 3 months later, they found out that she was trans, and they dropped the case and said, "How could you be raped?" And so that's that. That's these girls. They're kind of out in the Old West, and the Old West was a place where people came to reinvent themselves. It was like, go west, young man, and you could be a farm boy, leaving Vermont. By the time you got to California, you were Frances Thompson or whatever. And that's what happened. They were in the Old West. Excuse me. There were lots of notable black trans women and white trans men, which I find really fascinating statistically and geographically and all that kind of stuff. It's fascinating. So let's move on to our next slide. This is Nell Pickerel, aka Harry Allen, fighter, bootlegger, and bad man is Miss Pickerel for love of whom 3 women have killed themselves. This is happening out in the West. Fabulous, right? We should know this. We should already know this, but we don't. But we do have history. And they try to tell us as trans people we don't have history. That we're ensconced in the world just like everybody else. But this modernist Christianity this modernist version of Christianity has left us all fucked with no grace. So that's Harry Allen. Cute, right? He was cute, right? He's like a cowboy. I just love it. I just think it's so cute. And so we'll go on to some more people out in the West. Oh, that's Stagecoach Mary. That Stagecoach Mary, I would tend to say that she had pants on under that skirt. I can see them. And I would say she was on the transmasculine spectrum. Hell yeah. And, nobody fucked with Stagecoach Mary. Not the robbers, not the sheriffs, nobody. She rode for the Pony Express, and she always got her mail. Stagecoach Mary. I think they recently did a film about her, but I think Whoopi Goldberg, maybe I played but I mean, I don't know if Whoopi Goldberg butch enough, but so that's
Regina King did it.
Regina King, okay, yes, yeah, I had heard about it. So that's Stagecoach Mary, and she just went out and lived her life, you know?
With a shotgun.
With a shotgun. Yeah, Shotgun Mary. Stagecoach Mary. Next slide, please. And I just want to show, still out west, there are these indigenous folks, trans as fuck. And Miss Weewaw, Miss Weewaw. Miss Weewaw was a famous, she was Hopi, right? Zuni. She was fat. And so the native folks loved Miss Weewaw. And Weewaw went to the White House as a representative of Native Americans. And the other Native Americans that went with her, they weren't bothered at all by her transness. In fact, they loved her for it. That's why I talk about this modernist version of Christianity that has us all screwed up. And so, I don't know anything about them, but it's just fascinating to me to just study and think what they were thinking, and what were they doing, and how did they make that code? Did they make those moccasins? But they were clearly in love.
Yeah.
We just get this one-dimensional view of Native Americans, and so I just wanted to show Weewaw and some Two-Spirit lovers who are also out in the West with Mrs. Nash and them all out in the West. So this was going on in the 1800s. Next slide, please. So we all know Lucy Hicks Anderson.
Yes, my girl.
She's one of my favorites. She was a bad bitch. She is so to be admired. She transitioned when she was 3 in 1890. I think she was born in circa 1890. And she went to her family at 3 years old and she said, "My name is Lucy.
Okay.
Don't call me Tobias." And they were like, "No, your name is no. Don't call me." She was emphatic. And so her mother brought her to the doctor. And 2 different doctors said in 1890-ish, just let her do it. She'll outgrow it. Clearly she didn't. But that's what they said. That her family just allowed her to just be herself, which is really remarkable, right? For the 1890s. But why I adore her so much is because she was a bootlegger a madam, and a French trained chef. And she, this is them taking her to jail after it was revealed that she was trans and that her marriage was deemed invalid and that she had committed perjury by saying that she was a natural woman and that's why she got married. But she stood up to the court and she said, I dare you to prove I'm not a woman. And they didn't mess with her. And this is in Oxnard, California, which is kind of halfway between Santa Monica and Santa Barbara on the coast there. But she was good friends with Sally Stanford. Y'all know her? She was a madam in San Francisco. But I just think this picture just fascinates me. It's just so civilized. You know, I think they asked her, can we take a picture with you? Take a picture with you, Miss Lucy? And she was adored. She was a socialite. That's what it says in Wikipedia. She was a socialite. And these rich white women of the wives of movie stars and movie executives, they accepted her and they loved her and they lived for her. And she helped them with birthdays and weddings and she could sew. And she was the fashion consultant of the area. And she dressed girls for prom, and she did their hair. This is on top of her other businesses too. She had several income streams.
Go ahead.
She's wearing a Lily Ann suit. I don't know if you guys know. Lily Ann was a brand in the 40s and 50s that sort of made tailored gabardine women's suits. And so she's wearing them. And so her hat, being sitting straight up and down, straight up like that, it means she's serious. When you cock it to the side, it means you're a little nonchalant. But she's like serious, and she's got on the matching gloves, matching shoes, with the veil pulled down. She was so incredibly chic, and then her court trial went on, and people showed up just to see what she was wearing. And she didn't disappoint her public. And she was, she also did babysitting and stuff like that, and, you know, for the folks that she liked. But she had 3 or 4 income streams, and hey, what can you say about that? You know, and she was, I just wonder what she would have been like if she had been able to really jet, you know? And so that's our Lucy Hicks Anderson, and we should speak her name, and we should know all these names of all these people, because people fought so that we could have a trans history month. We should be telling other people, oh, you don't know about Lucy Hicks Anderson? You know, we should be doing that because they want to box us and limit us, and that's not who we are. You know, we're spiritual creatures. No matter, we get distracted with dick and pussy, but, you know, we're only human.
Ancestors, are they up in Mr.
Not yet.
Now, it's always yet. Black people always get the yet.
Miss Cooper, we're not gonna do that over here. We're not gonna do that today. Next slide.
Shut it down.
This is another one of my favorites. This is Sweet Evening Breeze. And I just love her to death. Her story is like something out of Dickens, like a Dickens novel. She was raised and she was abandoned and raised in a hospital. And she learned how to read at age 3 by reading medical journals.
Wow.
And so she was a de facto nurse practitioner. And she stayed at her job